Alright guys, so now we're back from GOA goals, and I'd like to go over a few things we went over today in the media day in the convention center. So starting off, we went to Smith & Wesson. We seen all the new stuff they're coming out with, looked over a few of their pistols, and pretty interesting overall. The real thing about it though is that most of the new Smith & Wesson's out. We've already reviewed on the channel, and they didn't have any new releases for the actual show. So that being said, there really wasn't nothing to actually cover in the I guess, new field or new products that they had actually released. Like I said, we've covered most of them that's been released in the last, 2 or 3 months, and there really wasn't much that we could cover that hasn't already been seen. So going on from there, we then went to Cox Arms. We did cover them the other day as well at the range. Very nice company, very great guy, and just interesting guns that they build overall. One thing that I did ask him is that, hey, what sets your guns different from everybody else? And he said that he puts his name on that, and he couldn't sleep at night knowing that if something happened while somebody was trying to use one of their rifles and it malfunctioned and got them killed, he said he probably would not be able to ever sleep again. I respect that answer, and that myself is why I wanted to check out his guns even further. So more than likely we'll be reaching out to them and trying to get one to check out for the actual channel. After that, we went to Shadow Systems, checked out a lot of their new guns that they had. Had a new carry comp type of gun, slimmer than a 19, but put you in the mind of the 19. I think it was a 3.6-inch barrel with a compensator built into it, full-length dust cover, and proprietary magazine. So interesting design there in and of itself. Also checked out their long slide, or Glock-ish 34 per se, and looked really nice as well. So we'll be reaching out to them, see if we can get some stuff into the channel to review for you all. Next up, we checked out Global Defense. They had some of their custom 1911s on the floor, and we checked out a bunch of them. Looked really well. They also had their new MP9-ish or MP5-ish direct blowback 9mm. I think it was the SA9, I think is what they're calling it. Direct blowback 9mm, all compact, using MP5 magazine. So an interesting building of itself. I think they said about around the $1,000 mark. Checked out their FG42-ish clone-ish build. It was a 9mm. Interesting overall. I know a little bit about the FG42 because that was one of my favorite guns to run on Call of Duty World at War, but besides that, that's really about it. So going on from there, we then went to Double Tap, which is a Target company. Checked out some of their stuff, and they said they might be interested in sending out some stuff to the channel for us to update our range, so that was nice. We then checked out APOD Group, which is a AR-15 company. Some interesting stuff there. More billet than anything. Their uppers was billet for sure. Lowers looked a little bit more mil-spec. Interesting builds. Trying to think of anything really that set them apart from anything else. Their fit and finishment was great. Guns looked really well. Their black was really deep, which I like that about it, and their custom Cerakote looked very good as well. We reached out to them, and we might end up with one of them on the channel to review before too long as well. We then went to the Gun Butter and the Genesis Arms table. Genesis is one who made the shotgun for John Wick. Well, I guess made the shotgun and then done his thing on it. Very nice group of guys and very interesting shotguns. We actually checked that one out at the range day, and after shooting that, I'm going to have to get me one because it was one of the smoothest shooting and semi-automatic shotguns I've ever shot, +2 magazine fed. It's a great group of guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing if we can work with them in the near future. We then went to Premier Body Armor, checked out all their stuff they have. We're actually doing a full review with Premier Body Armor right now on their concealable shirt, body armor, so be looking for that in the future. But we checked out everything they had. Got a bulletproof cozy. I know that sounds crazy, but it was pretty interesting to say the least. He also showed out something to me that caught my eye a little bit. It was a level 3A armor, I guess you would say shield. Very interesting build in and of itself, very lightweight. I mean, he said I think he said his 85-year-old grandmother, or mother, one of the two, I can't remember off the top of my head, actually has one herself and can carry it around. That's how light it was. I mean, and it really shocked me because most shields that you see nowadays, they're pretty heavy and pretty cumbersome. but he said he wanted to build it for, you know, the average consumer, law enforcement, whatever else, to where they can have a shield that is bulletproof up to a 44 Magnum and be able to carry it around without it being cumbersome. So it was a very interesting shield in of itself. Checked out his helmet that he had, very nice as well. Just a great group of guys once again. So from there we went and checked out the Kel-Tec group. They had a few different rifles out here and there. I'm not saying that I'm not really that big of a fan of Kel-Tec, but it's just not something that I normally shoot or look at in a day-to-day basis. But interesting booth overall. Had a really great selection of guns to look at. So that's really about it. From there we went and checked out the Troy booth. A lot of great looking AR-15s. Troy's made a lot of parts for the military, and most law enforcement used to run Troy built handguards, stuff like that, on their rifles for the longest amount of time. I've knew Troy for a while from just their accessories, but their rifles also look good. They're wanting to send one in for us to do a meltdown on and do a full review on, so that'll be interesting to say the least. So looking forward to that. So then we checked out SOWW Charity. Great group of guys there. They're doing really great things for the special operations community, especially people who have some type of PTSD from the military. So I'd just like to give a special thank you to them for what they do for our veterans, and I think they're doing it for a very great cause. So going on from there, we checked out Fort Scott Ammunitions. Had some really interesting ballistics stuff on the table, anywhere from 380 all the way up to 223, 9mm, 45, 10mm, and they had some really great videos of shooting bears with their ammunition. Even shot one with a 380 and it put it down pretty quick, so I was pretty impressed with that. Once again, we checked them out at the range day. Really nice ammunition company, and I'm going to be checking some more of their stuff out in the near future. So one of the funnier things that happened today, we was looking up on this big screen TV, and it was just a thermal imaging of everybody walking around, and I seen something I recognized, and I was like, hey, that's my shirt. And I was like, oh, well, that's Dad. He's walking around. Didn't even know where he was at. But it kind of caught my attention because it was some very clear thermal and with a night vision mixed into it. And I was like, hey, what are you all showing off? And it was this new company. And pretty much their thermal imaging that they have also has built-in night vision to it. It's very compact, and we said, hey, we reviewed some night vision or some thermal before in the past, and give our information to them. And within 10 minutes of us leaving, they actually texted us, said, hey, come by and pick some of this up. So it's actually a company called Shinix, S-H-I-N-E or S-H-I-N-E-N-Y-X. We picked up the G1A. So more than likely we'll be having that review up before too long. Like I said, very interesting build in and of itself. So you also have, like I said, thermal and night vision, and it's very easy to use. It's not really that hard to do. Whenever I sit back down at the house after we got home, I looked it up pretty quickly and figured out how to do everything on it. It's not one of them really ones that you got to go real in depth to figure out how to use or anything else. So the G1A is actually a monocular. But you also can get the mount to mount it on a rifle, which this is more likely what we're going to do in the actual review. But just a very interesting build. I think it come in at $3,800 with the mount, so be looking forward to that in the near future. We then stopped at Canic, which is also Century Arms. Talked to them guys, very friendly group of guys. I was interested in a lot of the new Canics that they come out with, and they also had a lot of their FALs, their AK-47s, AKMs, but their Canic line of pistols have really took off pretty soon. I know whenever we reviewed a Canic a few years back, it was really a company that you really didn't hear much about, but it was coming up as one of the newer companies to be looking out on or be on the lookout for. And just some of their guns they had there today really blew me away with how nice they was, especially the trying to think exactly what the model of it was, the SPX maybe. I'll put in the actual video right now if I'm incorrect on that, but it was an all-steel striker fire gun. Felt great, looked amazing, and I just can't wait to get my hands on one of them. So more than likely they're going to be sending us one out to the channel before too long to check into. But once again, great group of guys there at Canic and Century Arms. So then we checked out King River Company. They're a custom 1911 group. The guys come from Wilson Combat, Nighthawk, and they pretty much built up the entire company within the last 9 months. Their 1911s they had there was impeccable. I mean, they was absolutely beautiful. They even had one on the table that was fully engraved that was sitting right at $17,000. So yes, that is a lot of money for a gun, don't get me wrong, but let me tell you something, guys, it felt like the guns was on ball burns. You all know that I'm a pretty big connoisseur of custom 1911s and 2011s, and these guys right here are some that you need to be looking out for, because their product that they're making is really beautiful, and I think that they put a lot of craftsmanship into it as well. So hopefully we'll be able to get with them before too long and see if we can get one featured on the channel. So going from there, we looked at a few things at Henry. We shot a lot of their guns yesterday on the range, and it was actually pretty fun. More than likely, we'll be having two Henry reviews coming out before too long, the 4570 Tactical and the 4570 All-Weather. So be on the lookout for them, and I'm looking forward to reviewing them and see what I think about them. So going on from there, we went to the Samurai Firearms, AR-15 company that I think their original name was like Precision Arms or something like that, but they was like, hey, we changed the name because you look up the Precision name or anything like that on Google, and it just pretty much is fully saturated now, which I agree with. But we actually shot their MK12 build on the range the other day, and that was one of my favorite guns that I actually shot that day. So we talked with them, and hopefully we might be able to get one into the channel to melt down before too long and to do a full review on, so stay tuned for that. So going on from there, we stopped by IWI really quickly. You all know I'm a huge fan of the Tavor X95, the Glils, this, that, and the other, but I let them know that, hey, we've got a lot of people that want to see an IWI Zion melted down. Not sure how that's going to go, but I'm at least put my name out there. Got in contact with a rep there, and hopefully we might be able to make something work before too long, but don't hold your breath. But either way it goes, at least they know that, at least I think that I'm on their radar, so who knows. So going from there, we checked out Car Arms, talked to them for a little bit. I expressed my interest in getting a Desert Eagle just for mainly our torture test with our armor, but not only that, but the Desert Eagle, especially in that stainless with a compensator built into it, is one of my favorite guns that I've ever shot. I mean, it's a mean gun, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I just absolutely love the Desert Eagle, especially with Deadpool and everything else. But at the same time, hopefully we might be able to get into some of them before too long and have one featured on the channel. We then went to Fight Light, had to sit around for a little bit to talk to the guy I needed to talk to. But Fight Light is one of the most requested meltdowns that we've got right now on the channel. I know we have a few others such as BCM and LWRC, neither of them was there. But Fight Light was. We let them know that, hey, we're wanting to put this thing in on the test, and let's see if it actually holds up to what we think it should. So we're more than likely going to be doing the 12.5-inch meltdown as long as they're good for it. He said, I can't make any promises, but at the same time, this is something I believe that would help us out, especially with showing how good our quality of our barrels and everything else is. So hopefully they take us up on their offer, but we will stay tuned for that, I guess. We then stopped by Q. We let them know about everybody wanting to see a honey badger melted down. We talked a little bit with a few of their guys there, great guys. They did say, though, that the honey badger more than likely would not be able to run on a fully automatic mil-spec lower. So we was like, hey, what about the sugar weasel? And they're like, yeah, more than likely that would run. So I'm going to be getting in contact with them, and hopefully we might be able to see a sugar weasel melted down before too long on the channel. So then we went to Wolfpack Armory. I had heard of them before a little bit in the past. I think Hop reviewed one of their guns a few months back, and I watched the video on it, but I really didn't know that much about them, but they knew a lot about us. But that being said, probably, like I said, the best group of guys we talked to that day, and we're going to be getting at least one or two rifles on the channel to review, and they're very interested to see one of our meltdowns done on their guns. So believe me, it's going to be coming before too long, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. Then stepped in Daniel Defense, didn't really talk to anybody there. They was kind of wishy-washy. I don't know what was going on really there, but we just took a quick video and pretty much walked out. We played with H9 a little bit. Seemed like a pretty interesting little pistol. We then checked out their new 9mm rifle that they had sitting there. It felt fine as well. Direct blowback once again, though, but overall, just Daniel Defense. Then stopped by Ed Brown. Ed Brown was built one of my favorite pistols that I've ever had in my hands, which was the Cobra. We talked with them for a little bit, seen everything new that they've got coming out, seen their new builds, this, that, and the other, what they've done to some pistols, including like the Smith & Wessons. I think they even have a Prodigy there that they'd overhauled, so that was pretty interesting. but talk to them for a little bit, and hopefully we might be able to get one on the channel to check out before too long. We also checked out Back Cave Ballistics, and I just wanted to check out really their Hummer that they had there. And I got up in it, checked it out, and I didn't even know they was sitting on the other side. And I was like, yeah, we thought somebody got in it, but we just seen something move and didn't pay no attention to it. So, but that was a pretty interesting part of the day, just getting to see that Hummer with that big 50 cal mounted on top of it. So guys, that's really about the end of the video so far. We try to check out everything that day that had any relevance to the channel and stuff that I know that you all would want to see. If there's anybody I missed and they're viewing this, sorry, but we try to do as quick as we could because that was the only day that media could go in there by themselves and get some one-on-one time with all the vendors. That being said, we stayed pretty much all day long up until the last hour. But I was getting pretty tired, and so was my dad and Kyle, and we had another 2.5 hour drive in front of us, so we went ahead and left at that time. But overall, my opinion on the GOA goals meeting there, it's something that I would 100% return to. I think that GOA done a very great job, especially with the media range day and the media day we had today as well. I think that their range day will go a little bit better next year. Everybody has teething issues, especially the first time you do something. A few people, said, hey, might have been a little bit off kilter, I guess is what you would say, but I think that they've done a good job for it for the first time that they've ever put it on. And also the convention center, I have no quarrels about that at all, and I think they've done a really great job with that, no questions asked. But once again, I appreciate them inviting us to the goals meeting, and I'm interested in coming back next year. I just hope that they, once again, have it as close as they did this year. The goals done a very great job, and I can't speak any higher on how well they done, especially for today. But I'm interested to see what they have in the near future, and hopefully we'll get to see this going on again next year. I think as long as the attendance is very good for this next following days, I think that we will 100% see another one next year. So guys, once again, I appreciate them for inviting us out and for letting us check out everything that they had. And guys, I appreciate y'all viewing as always. Like and subscribe for more gun reviews, and I will see y'all in the next video.